Let's try that again. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Nini. I haven't posted in a while. I know. So sorry. I don't remember the last thing I posted, but here I am again. Posting. So I went to when I had the stalker, I bought this knife, and it was a really cool knife. It was hot pink. Everyone knows that's my color. And when I used it, I was very careful, except this last time. So what happened was I had this pink water bottle, and I put this camouflage cover on it. And so I didn't like the thing on there anymore because I felt like it made it heavy. So I took the pink knife and I tried to cut it off. And it slipped and it cut my hand. That's the after effect of my hand. It was bleeding. It was like gushing blood, like in the movies when somebody gets stabbed and it's just bleeding profusely. That's a big word, I know. I'm very sorry. But yeah, it was bleeding really bad. Blood everywhere from the table to the sink. It had a trail. I went into the men's bathroom and tried to stop the bleeding. It wouldn't stop. So in the time that I'm trying to stop the bleeding and everything, one of my coworkers was like, "Oh my God, are you okay? Do you need first aid?" I was like, "No, I'm fine." And I was like, "Ugh, I can't do this." I was like, I was freaking out, but I wasn't freaking out to the point where I wanted to cry. So I wrapped it up with it's like pink tape. I use it for my wrist. It's like athletic tape or something. And so I wrapped it up and I was like, okay, I'm good. I was on lunch when this happened. I wasn't on the clock. So I went back downstairs and one of our managers came. "Oh my God, are you okay? What happened? Did you do it?" I was like, "I didn't do it down here. I did it upstairs. I'm fine. I stopped the bleeding for now." One of the best people that I work with is Miss Tisha. She's the bomb. She's like, "Oh my God, are you okay, girl?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm okay. It's bleeding, but I'm okay." She's like, "You need to go to the ER right now because it's still bleeding." I was like, "I don't know what ER to go to that takes our insurance," because we have insurance with the company. And she was like, "Arrowhead." And then I'm like, oh, because I heard so many bad things about Arrowhead. So I finished what I was doing at work really fast. I clocked out. I said, "I'm leaving." She said, "Okay, let me know what happens," because she's really cool like that. So I went to the ER, said, "My hand's bleeding. I need to be seen." They're like, "How'd you do it?" I cut it with a knife. Like, what else? So I got there at the ER at 8:30. By 9 o'clock, I think it was 9, they took my blood pressure and my weight, which was wrong in every aspect, only because they said I gained weight, like 3 pounds. And I get it because I stress eat a lot. I gotta try to stop that. Anyway, and then they said my blood pressure was really high. So later on, and then I go back out in the waiting room, wait more, and then waiting, it's like the waiting game. So then they call me back again, and I sit on this chair in this little space, and I'm like getting nervous because my hand is still bleeding. I don't know what to do or what I'm gonna do. Sorry. And so the doctor was like, "So what happened?" And I tell him. He's like, "Was this an accident?" I was like, yeah, I didn't do it on purpose. Like, hello? So he takes the bandage off that I had on, the glove, and I swear it was gonna start gushing again. He looks at it really quick, and he puts a bandage on it. Okay, so I go back and he's like, oh yeah, you're gonna need to do a couple stitches, maybe one. So I go out and I wait some more. The waiting game in the ER is no fun, only because there was a lot of people there. And when I mean a lot, there was like every seat was almost taken. People got cooties. Like, I'm like, girl, damn, cover your mouth. Anyway, excuse me, I'm sorry. Around 11:10, they called me back to get my stitches. And so I'm like, okay, I can do this. I've had kids. The stitches are no big deal, right? No big deal. So the doctor, well, he was a physician's assistant, so he said, I'm gonna numb your hand and then put the stitches in. I'm like, cool. So anytime I've been numb before, they don't literally or excessively put it in the wound. My second oldest had stitches in her head when she was younger, and they didn't put it in the wound, they put it on next to the wound. So this guy put this needle in my hand, in my wound, and injected the medicine. And I'm like, I wasn't looking, I was like this, like my head down, my eyes closed and praying. And you know, and then he waited a few minutes, he cleaned out the wound. If you guys could see the picture, it was a mess. And I don't know how to post pictures if I could on YouTube, but trust me, it was gross. And then so he had took the bandage off and it wasn't bleeding, thank God. He waited about 5 minutes, and then he said, can you feel anything in your hand? I was like, no. He was like, okay, let's go. So I've had tattoos, I've had piercings, nothing of those compared to what I went through this time. He stitched me up, he put 2 stitches, and then the 2 stitches, he tied them off, and then I put my head back up because I had put my head down, and I was getting dizzy. And he's like, you can go sit in the waiting room and then they'll call you to discharge you. And I'm like, cool. You know? I'm like, that's cool, okay. But it wasn't. The doctor had left, and then he came back. And then, sorry, I'm walking so I can drop my pounds. He came back and he's like, whoa. He's like, okay, just turn, because I was like, my legs were over the bed, so he wanted me to put my feet on the bed. And I was literally, he's like, oh my God, you almost passed out. He's like, does that happen a lot? And I'm like, yeah, it's because I have vertigo. And then, so I asked for some water. And then I asked for another cup of water. I had like 3 cups of water. Then I felt fine. So then, after all that, I went back to the waiting room one last time because I had to be discharged. So I don't know why they just didn't discharge me and give me the paperwork right away. But so they're like, go out and wait. So I had to wait like at least 2 more hours before, at least, because I got home like at 2:30 or something, 3, just to wait for discharge papers. And then he's like, come back in a week to get your stitches out. I was like, okay. So in my mind, the stitches weren't, the wound wasn't really closed, like I showed you guys. And then, so I've been working with it. I haven't got it wet. So on Sunday, I asked the manager if I could leave, I don't know those people, and they're trying to say excuse me. If I could leave early so I could go to the ER and get my stitches out. I left work about 8, and I wasn't supposed to be out till 10. But I went in there, I was in there half an hour. I was like, I'm here to get my stitches out. And the lady's like, is this your first time here? I was like, no, I was here last week to get my stitches put in. And she's like, okay. So then, 5 minutes, they call me back, they weigh me again. I weigh 171. My BP was 147, over 65 or something. And then I was like, that's, afterwards. Then they call me back and the doctor's like, okay, let's take them out. They're looking good, they're not infected. And then I was back with the doctor for like at least 15 minutes. Yeah. And then I went back in the waiting room to wait one more time for my discharge papers. I'm trying not to stand right directly to the sun. I can see the sun behind me. So that is, yeah, I had to wait. And then they're like, here's your papers. I was like, thank God I'm out of here. Like that's how it was. And I came home, and the whole time that I was in the ER the second time, I was texting my sister. Now I've done videos where I said my sister's annoying and blah blah blah, and she is. But the weird thing is that when I came home, she didn't say anything to me, and she hasn't said anything to me in 2 days, which is not really a bad thing. But for her, it's kind of weird because she's always talking to me, and so it's like really weird. And my assumption of that is she liked seeing me have a wound or being in pain or something. And that sounds weird, I know, but that's how she is. She's super like that. And yeah, so now this is the effect, and that the dry skin. Oh my God, that is so weird. Like, because I had to have a bandage on it for a week, and my hands got dry. I'm putting lotion, it's not working. I'm like not irritated. I'm just, I guess, irritated because my skin's all dry, and I don't like, I have to work with people, and I don't want my skin falling off, just in case, like say I'm helping someone and then my skin falls off in their food or whatever. I would be moated. If you guys don't know what that word means, it means embarrassed. So yesterday I decided that today I'm gonna start walking for 15 minutes every day before I go to work. I've been walking for about 13 or a little bit more, I'm not really sure. So so I can drop pounds, It's very important to me that I lose weight when it happens, something like that, because I have stomach problems and everything. So it's important to me because at one point I was 167, and so I gained like 3 pounds. So I'm just like, now I'm just like, ugh, I don't want to be 171. But in all fairness, I think my pants weighed a pound because when I was at work, I stepped on the hose and the hose got me all wet. So it might be that. I'm not really sure. So those people at the pool were calling me, so I just walked a different way. It's hot. It's not hot out here. It's not as hot as it's been here in SoCal.